It was set to be a relatively quiet week until Thursday night, when the Eagles traded for Jordan Howard, taking care of a hole at running back. A sixth-round pick for a player as productive as Howard is a steal. Don't take my word for it, take the people who watched him, they're livid. Other stuff happened too. Let's review. Speaking of review, great news, pass interference is now reviewable. Bad news, the refs are going to screw it up. You know they will. This is a league that can't figure out what a catch is. Expanding reviewable plays is a major step in the right direction, but it is inevitable that they will handle it poorly. Baldy is the new Gilbrand. Brian Baldinger says he knows who the Eagles are drafting. That reminds me of when Gilbrand wrote down who the Eagles were drafting in March of 2015 in a sealed envelope, and then after the draft it was opened and he was right. It said Nelson Aguilar. You could probably chalk Brandt's prediction up to the ineptitude and rigid thinking of the Chip Kelly front office. But Baldy's prediction is riskier. He's not only saying that he thinks the Eagles are picking player X, but he is also saying that the Colts are just as interested in him, so that they may have to trade up to get ahead of the Eagles. Or that the Eagles might have to trade up to prevent the Colts from trading up. Game theory in action. Doug Peterson thinks Doug Peterson has room to improve. Peterson is already one of the best coaches in the NFL, combining outstanding leadership with strong play calling and pushing the league to new heights in aggressiveness. So it is exciting that he thinks he can get better. Last year was obviously a tough year. But I look at it, some of the fourth down decisions, I look at it again, like I mentioned earlier, maybe I go and throw the ball a little more instead of run the ball. You've got to weigh it back and forth. 2-point conversions, I think about some of the decisions I've made. Still having the aggressiveness and showing the team that we're going to stay aggressive in kind of a calculated way, not in a silly, kind of a whim type of decision. Other areas I've looked at third down decisions. And then just running the team. Day-to-day, managing the team. Still being open, still being honest, communicating with the players. Being demanding, holding guys accountable, things like that. Those are all the areas I can continue to grow in. A Super Bowl winning coach who has changed the way the game is played thinks he can get even better. Eli Manning made shit up. Eli Manning gave an interview where he talked about how rough Eagles fans are. You go there, and that 9-year-old kid is giving you the double finger, he said. Not a thumbs up. Not, we're number one. And he said something about my mom. I had to Google what it was. It's just different. It's a different culture. Standard Philly fans are mean stuff. But hold on a moment. He has been at it so long, he said, that he has seen young Philadelphia fans grow up before his eyes. Now I see him and he's got his 9-year-old kid with him. Manning said, smiling. Same deal. It runs in the families down there. If this is true, it means the original 9-year-old had a son when he was 14, so none of this happened. Tweet of the week: you're not a true fan of any sport if you don't hold the ball from that sport in your lap as you watch the games. Slick, @Delish, March 28, 2019.